You talked about something that I noticed when I got to college, when I realized that there's another dimension and another level to people who actually want to go professional here. And I don't care as much as I thought I did.
Yeah.
Like I thought I wanted to be a pro. And when I got there and I realized the levels to this, and that if you're not on the team as a freshman and already one of the best on the college team, like zero chance.
It's demoralizing, and you stop wanting to work hard.
Yeah, no, this is the setup. It's just wires everywhere.
The cameras can't see that.
The cameras can't see. Yeah, you're right. No, but that goes to show like just the whole thing with just the realism part, and that was like the one big thing I was struggling with in this whole trip. But yeah, man, this is cool. This is cool. The whole setup here, this is awesome.
Yeah.
I usually start the cameras and we just kind of roll and bullshit for a couple minutes, and then we kind of dive into
and then
everything.
eventually get into it. Like
yeah, but like honestly, the bullshit just starts with DISA. I mean, that's where all the bullshit started. I mean,
yeah.
When I first thought about it, I kind of forgot because I mean, last time I talked to you, you were a senior. Upstate, you were kind of done.
I think I've seen you once since high school. It was at a Charleston Battery game for a few seconds. I saw you.
I went to one of your games in college. I watched Upstate. I think it was Columbia actually. I think you guys played Columbia.
Yeah.
And I watched you because you were right back. I think it was, and I was shocked. I remember when I first started college soccer, everyone was so big.
Yeah.
And then to see a senior, like I think you were captain.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo. That's him. Like that's who I would have seen when I was a freshman walking on stage and be like, yo, that guy's huge. Like walking around
quite
just
the
like
contrary.
knock people over, you're fast as fuck. I mean, shit. But yeah. So we'll rewind. We'll restart here. So this is Joel Bunting. This is a professional soccer player. He was I think you were, I don't want to miss any accolades, but I think you were a top scorer for Bishop England.
Yes.
Just like in the whole state.
Like all of Bishop England's history, top scorer. And then
how was that ego? High school, honestly. How was it?
It's high school, you know. So you got to calm yourself. Like, obviously, when you get to college, if you do that for your college, it's a lot bigger. Mm-hmm. But high school soccer is way different, you know.
Did you have that mentality when it was happening?
Yeah. I always humbled myself.
Really?
And I've always been, like, a humble guy, so.
That's true.
Yeah, because, you know the players in high school, you go to some teams, some players are just, they're not up there. They're there to have fun. It's not that competitive, so.
You know what's weird is that, I don't know if you remember the people, but at least for us, Wando was our big team.
Yeah.
And so we knew all the better players there. Like I remember when I was there, it was Zach Eversano and Tucker Heffron.
Yeah.
Were like the two. I don't even remember how good Tucker was. I just remember he was the guy we always thought about.
Yeah.
And Zach was full ride at Wofford, I think. Mm-hmm. And the other day I Googled him. I forget why. And he's actually on some team in the same division as Aiken.
He's at Lees McRae.
Yeah. And I think it's Division 2.
Yeah.
And I think they've played Aiken in the past couple years, and I was like, damn, I was playing in the same league as this Zach, and I can't remember because I remember when I was in high school and club, like we played in the same club team, and I mean, if we're gonna be totally honest, you were a level above everyone on the team. It wasn't even close. And so when I was playing, I was like, man, I'm good, and I can kind of dribble, I can kind of do my thing. But you were always like a level up with club, especially in high school. And I think that's the difference when you get to college and everyone is at that level.
Yeah.
What was that like, the transition to college?
I transitioned pretty nicely, honestly. When I came in as a freshman, I just continued to do my thing, like work hard. And I saw the players around me and how good they were, and I just wasn't afraid of how good the other players were. And I felt like I fit in immediately. And within the first few games, I was already starting as a freshman.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
And then I just continued to do my thing and perform and score goals. So
did they give you confidence when you came in, or was it just you against the world? Did it feel like it was you against the world?
I had to earn it. Yeah. Like the coach didn't really like guarantee anything when I came in. So I really had to prove myself, but it didn't take long. So
what was the coach's like stance on it? Because when we were at Aiken, there was a bunch of missing things that happened at Aiken. There's a bunch of things that kind of, I don't want to talk bad on Aiken. There was a bunch of things we missed the mark on just as a whole.
Yeah.
And it started from the top. It started from the top with the coach and the management. It was a mess. It was a mess up there. Yeah. And that definitely translated the rest of the team. What was Upstate's setup?
Sometimes it is like that. It is a mess. And when I came in, there's actually 12 freshmen, 6, 7 transfers. So the team that we had was like basically new. So everyone that came in was just fighting for their own spot. But yeah, it was just whoever, got the job done. basically did what the coaches asked for, which is something that I've always been big on is, if a coach tells me to do something, I'm going to do it. And that kind of just gets you ahead and gets you on the team. So, True. And then once you're on the field, if you perform, I scored a few goals and Do
you remember that first goal? Was that big for you, or was it kind of like I've already scored so many?
The first one was preseason, so it was against Newberry, like Division II. I think we won by like 5 goals or something like that. God, so I was like trying to celebrate, but like kind of like I think it was like the 5th goal. I was like, okay, let's calm down here.
Oh, man.
But I remember my freshman year, my first goals in college, I was just doing every celebration, like doing the like it was just crazy. The emotions that go through your body in that moment it's incredible.
I literally can't remember. Like the last goal I scored was a alumni game when I came back to play against Portugal and I scored, and I was like, oh my God, I have not scored a goal in so long. And Aiken, I talked about it with Dalton. It was the second game, and at the beginning of the season, I was one of the first. I was potentially breaking it to starting 11. Potentially if everything had kept going that way. And my first game ever, I think we were playing North Georgia, some random D2 school, and I had the ball from like 30 yards, and I heard someone yell shoot, and I just instant kicked in, and I shot the ball, and it literally almost went in. It was like an inch away, and the goalie saved it. But dude, if I had scored that goal, like I remember watching a couple of kids who didn't even like care about soccer. They're on the team, but they didn't really want to be there, and like they scored goals, and I remember being just so like frustrated because I'm putting all this work in and it's not working. But it was cool because we was watching you do the same thing. But I knew like for you it was like, or I didn't know, but it felt like soccer was deeper ingrained in like your DNA. And that's why I was surprised when you were talking about it senior year. You're like, I'm kind of burnt out. And what was that? When did that start happening?
Definitely the beginning of my senior year. I kind of was like, I want to quit, but it was more like I wasn't going to quit in that moment. I was going to, at the end of the season, I was like, hey, I'll be done. I'll move on, full-time job, live the real world life. But I think once the season ended, I took some time off and like recharged, and then that love for the game just like comes back.
Came back for you.
So I feel like when you do get burnt out, you need some time to work your way back. So
did you play at all?
My senior year.
No, like after when you were done, did you quit completely, or did you keep playing a little bit?
No, so my senior year and then spring season. So we had a break. The winter break, and then spring season came around, so we played for just a little bit, and then COVID happened, so that got canceled. And then I came back here and I played in the fall here this past fall 2020, and I played for Charleston United, a UPSL team, and it's a lot more casual, still pretty competitive. We practiced twice a week and played on the weekends for like 10 weeks straight, and that's the season. But we were really successful. We actually went to the national tournament.
Holy shit.
Yeah, we won the round of 32 game, and we went to the round of 16 against the number 1 team in the entire country for UPSL. And I scored a goal that game, actually.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
What position were you?
In playoffs, I was playing winger. And then I actually started the season at center back.
Dude, I don't understand what happened. So you were always striker until you were like 19. What happened?
So this is what I think. So when I was a freshman, I played striker, and I did well. And then my sophomore year, we got a new assistant coach. He kind of came in and like took control. The head coach was still there, but you could tell that he was fighting for control and obviously the starting lineup. So when it came down to it, instead of playing me at striker, he saw that I could play in different roles and still have just as big an effect. And how I see it is like, there's other strikers out there that can't play any other position. They can only play striker. He could put me at left mid. I'd still do a great job. Right mid, great job. By my senior season, I was playing left back. Just because they needed me. I'm right-footed. Like, it's not like that much fun, but I work hard, especially on defense, and I'm technical and fast, and I feel like those attributes you can play a player anywhere.
You can. Anywhere, and we when you were at, I think it was at DISA, we would, or at least a couple of us would kind of compare you as far as just in general of a player. You were very complete in the sense you were very like Ronaldo. Like you were just tall, you were fast, you were strong, but you also had a really, really good sense of what was around you. Yeah. Like you had a low center of gravity, I remember because I was like, I don't think I've ever taken the ball from you in a practice. I was like, for some reason, you just like, you were solid everywhere.
Yeah.
And so when I had heard you move to defense, I wasn't like surprised. I was a little surprised in the sense that I thought they were maybe missing out on just goals.
Yeah.
But I figured, I was like, he's fast as hell. He's going to catch anyone.
Yeah.
He's strong. He understands the game. And he's a striker. So like when he's playing defense, you probably know what they're going to do.
Yeah, yeah. Just instinct. Yeah. And by the end of my senior year, I got moved back to forward. And I was really successful. And like the team itself was very successful. But at that point, it was actually kind of too late. We didn't make conference playoffs. And and I think it kind of showed to the coaches that, the whole time they should have been playing me up there. So, but it's okay. It's okay. That's how it is. And now that I'm here, playing for the Charleston Battery, it's like, it doesn't matter that much.
Yeah, that's true.
So
damn, that's nutty. That is insane. So when you were all right, so we'll get to the Battery, but the one thing with USC Upstate versus Aiken that I missed out on. So when I was at Aiken, we didn't have any like crazy big games. We didn't play anyone that was high stature. And I remember the first time I saw pictures of you versus like USC Columbia.
Yeah.
Or I forget what it was. Some big D1 team that you watched on TV growing up.
Yeah.
What was that like when you walked out? Like, did it feel like a movie, or did it feel just very like, we're just gonna go play this game?
A little bit like a movie. And the first time we played Carolina, it was their season opener at home, and they gave away football tickets for players, like for students to come and watch the game. So they can get football tickets if they come to the soccer game. So there was 5,000 people in the stands.
Oh my god!
First time we played South Carolina.
Oh my god!
Maybe for like the first half, but still like going in there and like they got music playing, and it's so exciting.
Did you choke? Did you choke at all? Or were you like good to go when the whistle went?
No, I'm usually good. I'm usually good when I'm like, and players have said that, like, usually don't get nervous when you're on the field.
For me, my anxiety would pop in right before the whistle went, and then for the first 5 minutes, I feel like I couldn't catch my breath.
Yeah.
And then after that, the game was fine.
Yeah.
For me, that right up to the first whistle, I was like, oh my god, here we go.
Yeah.
I played so many games. Like, why is this not over? Like, that was the thing since like rec soccer. And I think it was just attributed to like just anxiety in general for me. And I would just always get it no matter what. But man,
to me, it's like I get anxious, but it's how you channel that energy. Then I do it by like just pressing, like just running. If a ball goes over the top, a through ball, like I'm just sprinting after it as fast as I can. And I'm fighting for it. That's just like how I channel my jitters, my energy.
That's fantastic.
And then like when the ball comes to me, when I'm in a game, it's so different. I have like just a higher sense of focus, and I'm in that flow state. So when I'm in a game, it's not like I'm not thinking as much. It's just reactions and to what's around me and stuff like that.
That's great. Yeah, your soccer IQ is definitely high up because your IQ paired with the instinct, but also that was that a lot of people have. But then you pair that with a work ethic that is unlike most people who have a high IQ of soccer. Like a lot of people who are just good or really smart are lazy because they're like, okay, well I got all this, I get it, I can kind of take a step back. But you were with that plus all that hard work. So when I was at DISA, I knew I could do anything and kick the ball anywhere, and you were probably gonna go that way anyway. So it made our lives way easier. And like I had the same work ethic, but I didn't have anywhere close to that soccer IQ that you have. Instinct.
I'm still the same way. If you kick a ball up the field, I'm gonna chase it. I'm gonna chase it down.
That's why you're professional.
I know.
That's why you're going big. I mean, me and Dalton were like, look, he's gonna be good for the Battery. He's gonna be really good, especially if you use him right. But it's gonna be. We think, and we don't know. I don't know what your goals are, aspirations are. But I was like, I don't see a world where he doesn't fly through the USL. I mean, I don't know how you did in the UPSL or how much you liked it or whatever. But me and Dalton were both like, if he wants to and he has the right like set of circumstances, like there's no reason he shouldn't keep going up.
Yeah.
The chain. Is that the goal?
That is the goal. Yeah.
Holy
and it's always the goal. And
crazy.
it's never like certain where you want to go. It's not like I want to play MLS. I want to go to this team in particular. Maybe I can end up in Europe. You never know what's going to happen. But right now, like I'm very happy with where I'm at. And it's a great place to work hard, get better, and move on. So that's exciting.
What did you get a call from the Battery?
Yeah, so the coach called me one morning. It was actually my wake-up call at like 9:30.
God.
I was working at 11, so I was like waking up at 10, But he called me, and then he asked me to come to practice the next day. But leading up to that, on my UPSL team, I have a teammate. His older brother used to play for the team. So he had like the connection, and he was like, hey, there's this guy we have on our team. I really want you to like look at him, give him a chance. And few other things. He called Coach Curry from BE and a few other coaches in the area and asked like a review on me. So, but after that, yeah, he gave me a call, and then I came to practice like the next day or whatever, and then I trained there for about 2 months. I had a little injury, which I think prolonged them signing me, but they signed me 2 weeks ago, I think. So,
oh God, that is crazy. Yeah. That is crazy. I have a similar story with that. It wasn't professional soccer or anything close to that, but I had like that wake up call where I woke up and with like really good news. Did your parents know? Did they know before that they're like, yo, Charleston Battery's knocking?
I'm trying to remember. I think I had, I think the guy told me that Coach Anhauser, the coach of the Battery, was going to call me. So I kind of had like an inkling of it, but that was just like the day before. So whatever he told me, I relayed to them, and then we were very patient with it because nothing was set in stone until I officially signed. Now it's like I feel way more relaxed. Like
what were you doing before?
I was actually working in a restaurant.
Wait, you were?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
What the hell?
So I was working Vespa on Daniel Island.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why I like talking to you about the restaurant, because
bro, I didn't even know we had a restaurant segment. I guess we're gonna have one.
Yeah, let's just do it. So
oh my God.
I was still working while I was with the Battery, but it was just like once or twice a week. Before that, it was like 5 days a week, at least 5, 6. The shifts were like 5, 6 hours, so not like a full day of work. But when I quit like last week, man, the restaurant was packed, and we were so understaffed.
Yeah.
Especially the kitchen. Like you'd be sitting there for 40 minutes waiting for food. Tables are, giving you shit for everything, and I was just like, I'm done with this. I don't need this stress.
It's not worth it, in my opinion.
It's good money. It's very good money, especially for like the hours you're working, and I'd make like $30, $40 an hour. But man, the stress, and
it's painful.
Especially when I got like wake up the next day and go play soccer. I didn't want to be on my feet. Mm-hmm. And I just didn't want to have that in my life. So now I'm trying to like do coaching on the side, and
that's dope.
And just play soccer because it pays, and I live here rent free, which is nice.
That's awesome.
So the money they give me, I can live off of.
That's lit.
Yeah.
With the restaurant, I totally feel you. I mean, I quit. It would have been 4 weeks ago now, and it was right before busy season.
Yeah.
I felt bad, but I mean, they had all these new servers, but like I was saying earlier, when you have all new servers, you end up doing all the work.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, and we didn't have food runner. I don't know what your situation was.
We didn't have one either.
We didn't have anybody. We had barely a host. Like she was sometimes there, but she was running food.
Yeah.
And the restaurant business right now in general is just, it's difficult. And everyone's, and I don't know why people can't. I think it's because we have the awareness because we worked, but sometimes I'm sitting there, I'm like, how do these people not understand that we're understaffed? And like, we should have signs everywhere saying, yo, we don't have people working. This is why it's slow.
There are people that complain, and it's like, look around the restaurant. Mm-hmm. Every table is full. Like, what? Like, you got to be patient.
Bro, really I'm so glad I'm not a host. I mean, I've hosted a few times, and I'm sitting there, and I think it's because, like, I'm a bigger dude, maybe, but, like, we have a girl host, and she just gets railed. Just people would, like, scream at her face, like, what do you mean you can't get a table? And I'm like, I'm sitting when I say, I'm like, yo, we have, like, 15 tables, and they're all taken. I don't know what you're asking of me. Like, if you have an answer, I'll take it, because I want to sit tables. I just don't have an option. And they'll just sit there and just look at you, and they walk away or something.
Yeah.
But, dude, the restaurant business. Painful.
I know. How long were you in it?
I was only in there for a year.
A year?
I've only done the serving for a year, and I like the restaurant industry in the sense that I like the camaraderie you build with these people. Mm-hmm. And for me, it was very similar to like sports. You bond. We're all
you have a team and you work together, and
we're getting through shit.
Very tough times.
Yeah. And so I like that aspect. I want to bartend. I want to see what that's like.
Yeah.
Even though I don't really drink that much, and I don't know much about alcohol because I don't drink.
Yeah.
And so I think it'd be fun. I like having more control. Mm-hmm. When you're a server, you're just butler. You're just a butler.
Yeah.
So with bartending, at least you have control of the bar, and it's like your bar. You get to. I mean, I guess you probably wouldn't cook people out just left and right if you don't like them, but you are able to have like a little bit higher status in the restaurant.
Yeah.
Because you're at the bottom of the barrel when you're a server.
Yeah.
I mean, it sucks.
People give you shit, and you just got to take it. You literally do.
Yeah, we're just at the mercy. Like we're at the mercy of the bartenders. We're at the mercy of the kitchen. We're at the mercy of the host. Like we're getting killed. It's like, oh my God, it's serving. Holy hell. Do you have any horror stories?
Not really. There were just times where it was just so busy, and you just want to. This might sound terrible. You want to die.
Yeah.
Like you're just like, I don't want to be here. Not die. Maybe it's too far, but like you just want to quit. You just want to walk out the door and that's it. Because you got 10 tables out there, half of them are giving you a hard time, the food's not coming out. It's like, you just have so much like anxiety that it's like, I don't need this.
Yeah, the anxiety was pushed from me big time. That first 3 months, have you worked before as a server?
Yes, for 2 months. It was a place up in Spartanburg, but it was a little bit different. And at the time, it was during the summer, so it wasn't crazy at all. Like you'd have like 4 tables and 2 people, like 2 tables would be full. So it was kind of nice. I like that part of serving, that you can actually like engage in conversations with your table. But if it's busy, yeah, I'm running up like, hey, what do you want? Like trying not to sound like frantic. Hey, how are you? What do you want?
Yeah.
All right, next table.
Oh man, it really is like that. And there's some tables that they like to talk where they have like 8 people and they take forever to just get their order. I'm like, bro.
Yeah. They say they're ready, and then they start looking at the menu again.
Or like, hey, you mind if I put everything in right now? I'm like, do you have to? Do you want to? Do you really want? I mean, I can.
Yeah.
It's like.
And you got 10 other things on your mind.
That's the worst thing, is when I know I need to go pick up a drink or something, but I need to take this order, but I also need to go grab food. Yeah. And you're just like, all right, I guess
you're caught between all these things.
Hard.
It's really hard. It really is.
It's really hard. The restaurant, the restaurant business is something that I think I understand when people are there for too long and they have this like kind of crappy attitude on life. And you've met those people at the restaurant that are just like in this rut. It's like, are you gonna ever quit this job? I mean, it sounds like you do hate it. It's really, really hard. And there's other jobs that probably pay something like this, especially the guys in the back, dude. I feel so bad.
Oh yeah, the kitchen workers, they work harder than us, and they make like half, depending on the night.
I don't know how much they're making, but
it's hourly, so
it looks awful back there.
Most days we're making more than them, and they work so hard. So
respect all the back of the house
employees. Seriously,
you guys kill it.
You guys are awesome.
There's no way around it, like I'm sitting there and like 6 tickets to go in a row, and they're all like, "Are you kidding me?"
Yeah. And then you mess up something, and you have to like put your head through the window and ask for something.
That is so awkward. That is so awkward.
I just feel bad. I just feel bad doing that.
And then, but there's some of the people in the restaurant business are really just mean at that point, especially them there for a long time. Yeah, they're just mean, and I try not to take it. I mean, I don't take it personally, but there's just no way around it. If you've been working food and bev for 20 years, what do you expect? You're gonna be an angry man, or an angry woman, or non-binary, or whatever you think you are.
Yeah. If you have that stress on you every day, you're not gonna be a happy person. That's for sure.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you noticed now, because now you're in a position where you're getting paid a good bit of money to just play soccer all the time.
A dream come true.
This definitely. Is a literal dream come true. Are you able to enjoy that when you're playing?
Yeah, and it's nice. Like, I finally feel like I have something to show for all the hard work I've put in. Like, and I'm always doing something. Like, we have training from 9 to 11:30. Like, that's the time it takes throughout the day. But the rest of it's a 24-hour job. Like, everything you do. Like, the moment I wake up, everything I'm doing, eating, drinking, it's all for soccer. And then when I get home, it's recovery, weights, second session, whatever it is, just for soccer. And then before bed, same thing. Eating, drinking. My sleep, I go to bed at the same time like every night.
What time?
10 o'clock. I want to be in my bed by 10, turn off the light, and then asleep by 10:15.
Damn.
And then wake up at 7:15.
But you were doing these things. Like, this was your life before. So now you're getting compensated for it now.
And in high school I was, and I remember being on this schedule, and I just loved it. I really did. It's a bit robotic, and sometimes it does suck. It's like, when am I ever going to get out of this rut? But it's so efficient. I feel like it's very efficient, waking up and doing the same thing. And obviously the things I'm doing are very positive.
Well, the things you're doing are building toward a mountaintop of you don't even know yet exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
It's limitless.
And some days some days you can't see that, and it's hard because you're doing all these things, and then you go to training and you have a bad practice, and it's like, why am I doing all this extra stuff if I'm just going to go in training and have a bad practice? But it's obviously the long run. Like, the stuff I was doing in high school, it's paying off now. So
you have a patience about you that most people don't have. You paired it. It's good. You paired it with all the skills you had, and then just natural IQ with it, and you pair that with all the awareness that is, like, I think, completely necessary to hit a level where you're at. I mean, you can't. I think people joke. I remember in high school people would joke about the battery, but you don't know how hard that competition is. I mean, you can talk shit about the battery. You're like, well, they were 5th place last year or whatever it was, but you can be like, yo, you could not make the battery. I'm like, the battery is hard. You can't just show up and be professional.
Yeah.
It's not a thing, you know. I mean, Joel was the best player in the league, one of the best players in college, I'm sure. And at that level, you're pretty much hanging with, I mean, everyone around you is that same level.
Yeah.
And that's weird because people who are in this level below you talking shit because they don't get it.
Yeah, yeah.
You're sitting there and you're like, no, I'm good. And like, I'm just going to keep doing my thing.
Yeah, I've had a lot of haters, definitely.
Have you really?
Yeah. Just a few, like, little comments and stuff like that, but I never let it get to me. Because I know, like, I see everything I do, but they don't see that. And I'm usually very quiet about everything I do. Like, what I do in my free time. People are like, what do you do with all your time? And I'm like, I chill. But what am I doing? I'm out in the driveway, like, juggling or playing around or something, or lifting weights or something like that. So,
man, yeah, you're just, like, on the go, but that's what you love. I mean, I don't know if you know who Gary Vee is. He's, like, one of those big entrepreneur / like, hype motivational speaker dudes. And he's big on, like, when you find your thing, you just do more of that. And, like, when you find your actual thing that you like and you're passionate about, it's just easy to do those things. Even the crap stuff, you're like, well, it's helping me, propelling me toward this dream. Yeah. And his problem is that most people don't know what that is, but then they're not willing to go find that thing. And I mean, it looks like you found soccer pretty early on, that's what you wanted to do.
High school, definitely, like, when I quit basketball, and I just fell in love with the game, like, watching videos on YouTube, watching Premier League, like, every weekend, just absolutely fell in love with it. And then as soon as that was over, I just wanted to go outside and kick around. It was just like an addiction. And like, you didn't have to ask me to go. I was just like, I just wanted to go. Like, I had to go. And I go out. Back then I could go out for like 4 hours and train, do whatever. Now it's like my body can't do that anymore. But still, you know, I can go train and work hard and do stuff like that. So with Dalton, me and him grew up, and I think well, when did you start loving soccer? It was high school when you started really, really liking soccer? Yeah, I'd probably say my sophomore year.
Okay, and at that point you were pretty much one of the best in the state. I mean, let's be honest. You were one of the guys that people were talking about for who to watch out for. When I was playing soccer growing up, I think it was probably middle school when I fell in love with it. The problem was I just wasn't that good. I was good and I could make the team. Yeah. But I wasn't good enough to be like an integral part once I got to like a certain level. Yeah. And it was weird. It was a weird pill to swallow, but it felt good when I got to DISA, because up until that point I was the rock star for every team I was on, and I pretty much was you on the team. And when I got to DISA, I was new. I was trying to fight for my spot on the team, and I was like, I think I started like a winger position or something. Yeah. But it was really, really nice to have the weight off my shoulders and be like, all right, thank God. Like, people don't expect me to show up. Because if you didn't show up on game day, it doesn't matter how much we did, really, because you were the guy who was scoring the goals. We maybe would get a goal in here and there, but if you didn't show up for the game, fuck, you know. But you did pretty much show up every time, because that's what you did. So it was really, really nice, because I was like, we can rely on Joel. Thank God.
And I think like I just had that. I still have it, but it's just that energy. Like before games, like I just want to play so bad. I want to go like so hard. I'm gonna play my hardest, and I feel like that just carries over in the game. And like you said, like there's most games where I always show up, even if I have a bad game and I don't necessarily show up. I'm still gonna work hard. Like I'm still gonna run all over the place. But yeah, but you were up there, dude. You're definitely you were up there on the team.
I worked hard. I worked really hard.
And during high school, I remember you would train real hard.
I trained, and I think my problem was, I don't know what your training was like, but mine maybe wasn't the right type. Like I liked going out and playing, but I don't think I pushed myself in training to where I could go next level. But I think there were things you were doing. You maybe attending camps or going places, or like I know Dalton was on like a traveling team that was some type of. It wasn't a semi-pro. It was I think it was something like the UPSL.
I remember that. Yeah.
And I think that's what it requires when you want to make that jump. And at that point, other things were starting to like cascade in my life. Like relationships were starting to come in. School was starting to come in. I just transferred, so being cool was also somewhere on my radar. Yeah. And I think for you, you were just kind of like, I mean, you were already chill. You know, you knew a lot of your classmates, so you don't have to like worry about like being cool. Like you were just like, I'm me. Everyone knows who I am. Everyone pretty much. I mean, I thought everyone pretty much likes you. Yeah. I mean, that's the gist I got from it. Shout out all the Bishop England kids.
Yeah, for real.
But I mean, everyone liked you, and I think for you probably knew that. I mean, you were.
That's actually something I don't really think about, like the extra stress of like worrying about fitting in. Like I never really thought about that, because the people that I went to school with, I knew like half of them. So when I got to high school, it's just like it just didn't cross my mind, you know.
Bishop England High School only. I can't remember.
Or
was Bishop England like 1st through 12th, or was it just high school?
Just high school, yeah. But my Christ Our King, where I went, is like a feeder school. So like when I was in 8th grade, I actually played for JV for Bishop England.
Oh wow.
So I like met the coach, Coach Curry, through that, and then like a lot of the players who were on the team varsity the following year. And then I just like half my friends from Christ Our King went to BE. So like making new friends, fitting in. I don't know if like being cool goes underneath that, but
I think for me, I like viewed it as different. Like for me, I viewed being cool as different from being who I am.
Yeah.
So that was where my discrepancy was. Like I just didn't see that. I just needed to be who I was to like hopefully be cooler or whatever it was in my head. But I was definitely hyper aware of that, and there were certain things that pushed soccer kind of like more and more to the side of my plate, and it wasn't like that number one thing for me. And even by senior year, I was and then I ripped my ACL in half my junior year, so that kind of put a stink because I was talking to Coastal Carolina at that point, which didn't make any sense in my head. But my junior year, that was the year I popped off in high school, and I was doing really well in the 4A division, and I was like, I could maybe go to a good team here. Like I'm on a good run, maybe I have a connection here and there. And then the Coastal Carolina coach, I was supposed to go to a practice, like an open practice or something the next day, and I had Goose Creek the night before. I was like, easy game, don't worry about it. Tore my ACL the next day.
That's so tough.
I lost that connection basically. He called me and was like, just call me back next year.
That's tough.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah.
And then he quit that year, so I completely lost that connection.
Yeah.
And at that point, I was senior. I was just going for anyone. The first coach that offered me something, I took it, and that happened to be Aiken.
Yeah. When you can work your way up, like even if like you can go to Aiken and perform, and then transfer out if that's what you want to do.
That's what I had originally thought. So when I was there, I was saying I almost scored that first goal.
Yeah.
So I was the first sub off the bench. I was doing really well the first 4 games of the season, and then I had a game. I don't remember who it was, but it just was. I don't know what happened. I think it was like the universe going like, dude, soccer just is not. Are you sure? And I got the ball, and I vividly, we were on a turf, and it was like dry, so the ball doesn't move that well. If it was crappy turf, there wasn't enough of those blue rubber things, so the ball wasn't moving, right? So I'm literally tripping on the ball. I have the ball in the center of the field. Andre passed me like a 3-yard pass. I got it, and I'm literally stumbling over the ball, like falling over my own feet. And I'm sitting there like looking at the ground, and it feels like an out-of-body experience where you watch someone's GoPro footage of looking down, and that's what it felt like. And I'm like, I can't even kick the ball right now. And for like 5 minutes, I kept doing it.
Yeah.
And coach pulled me out, and I literally did not play again for like 7 games.
Oh, that's so tough. It does. It does something to your mental side of the game, like real bad, like really bad. And it's hard to recover.
It killed me.
It
killed me.
And I feel like as you go through the levels, it's like the ability to just like let go of like little things. Like yesterday in practice, like I missed a very easy finish, and it was just like, okay, whatever, let go, like next. And I think that's something that you have to like work on.
Definitely.
Because going through like high school, I feel like everything's really easy. Or if you do miss a chance, like it's not a big deal. You'll have 20 more, no big deal. But at the higher level, it's like you might get 1 chance to score, and if you don't, it's like that's it.
Pretty much.
That's your chance. That's sometimes how it is. So, but yeah, that's tough. And how was Aiken like? How did they rank amongst other schools in the country?
Rank's a generous word. I don't even know if that's a word we can use in this context. We did not that great, to be honest. It wasn't good, and it started from the coaching, or the top management coaching, and then it was a lot of it had to do with the leadership on the team. It just didn't exist. There was no leadership. It was terrible. Not to say any of them weren't good at they were good players. We had a bunch of good players, but I think everyone's ego was big, and it was one of those situations where the seniors just didn't want to interact with the freshmen. They were just kind of like separate, and that's really difficult when you come in as a freshman. You want to be kind of like let into the family. Yeah. And I don't know what it is on other teams. I thought it was just like this is just Aiken, like it's just me, like we're all getting singled out. But I feel like it's probably common among certain teams, probably the teams that aren't doing that well. Yeah. Because you need that cohesion with the rest of the team. What was that? Was it Upstate? Did they?
When I came in as a freshman, we actually stayed with the seniors for the first few nights, and they like took us under their wing. Man, it was nice. Very nice, and I think it was just like the type of personality we were. We were all American, of course, so we got along pretty well. But I feel like, I'll be honest, like when I was a senior, I was kind of the way that your seniors were. Like I just didn't really get along, didn't really care to like put in an effort to like make a bond with them. A few of them like I still talk to, but for the most part, it was like kind of just like kept my distance.
True.
So it's tough
That is
sometimes,
interesting.
you know.
Yeah, I guess now that you're the only one with that awareness of from the senior
Yeah.
perspective, and that is true when you're a senior.
It was different. Like but when I look back, like I feel like the difference between me and the seniors at the time wasn't that big when I was a freshman.
Skill wise.
Just like personality wise. Okay. But when I came in, like when I was a senior and then the freshmen came in, I just felt like we were like totally different. Like maturity wise, like on completely different pages and stuff.
Well,
like that.
there's a little bit of a generation.
There's a generation gap, yeah.
You know, and it's bigger than it used to be because of just the speed of technology and stuff. But I've been working with kids of all age. I work from kids from kindergarten all the way through adults now with the restaurant specifically, but also with a couple of jobs in schools.
Yeah.
And these kids, they don't give a fuck, dude. they don't give a fuck. And part of it's good because their self-confidence is probably big, but it's also a little bit of like a false image of what is actually going on. They think they know all this stuff because of the internet, but then they don't actually have the experience, you know, and the life experience that we have. And I think we grew up in like the perfect time era.
Oh, I know.
Before all the crap. So we still have like or at least some of us have like a blue collar mentality toward work ethic. And like you and I both have that where we just work. We're not just like a piece of shit about it, you know, we're just like get annoyed or feel like we deserve something or entitled. And I noticed that at least sometimes, maybe more than others, but maybe it's just because we're here now and we think it is. But I always thought that the generation below us is a little bit more entitled to just stuff.
Yeah, and it was just it's the complete opposite of who I am. So when I saw that personality, it's like, I don't care about you. I don't want to, like, you're my teammate, so I have to care about you. But like, I don't want to hang out with you. I don't want to put up with your shit, basically. So. Which can affect the team overall.
Probably a little bit, but I mean, you also lead through example. I mean, you are quiet for sure. Like when I was at DC, you didn't say much. You know, every now and then you would get high in emotions in the middle of something, but not really. And you mainly just led through just your work ethic. We knew if you kicked the ball, you're going to go for it. You're going to make a fight for it no matter what happened. Yeah. And that transition or that translates into kind of like inspiration throughout the team, and it helps a lot. And so that's probably one of the main reasons people probably didn't even feel like they needed to like talk to you. They're like, look, I know who Joyage is. He's a workhorse. He cares for his team. He's out here to do his job. And that's kind of what's important when you're captain, you're leading. You just got to do your shit the right way. Yeah. But I
felt best leading through example instead of like pregame speeches, like inspiration.
Yeah, have you ever done that?
Like,
did you ever do a pregame speech?
I tried, but I'm way better just like just showing everyone through example. We had another captain who was like, he enjoyed like
he does the speaking
stepping up, doing the speaking, and then like on the field, like I'd yell at people or whatever, like say some orders, but for the most part, it's just like work hard and just communicate and have fun. Definitely.
Yeah, it was good to have two different types of leaders. I mean, he probably also worked hard. Yeah, but it's good to know, like, because when you do yell at someone, for most people, when they yell at you, it's hard to take that and internalize it and do it because usually you're like, well, there was that one time that you didn't do that. But with you, it's different. I was like, if you yelled at me, I was like, hell, like he's probably right. I was like, most of the time you were right. But then also I couldn't be like, well, you didn't chase after that ball. I'm like, because he did. Yeah. So there's nothing you could say to like someone who works hard and just expects more of you. Yeah. And that's good. That's what you need to push that team to the next level.
I always respect players who work hard. Always. Yeah. But I despise players who don't work hard.
It's
even
hard.
If they're talented. Like it really bothers me, and it really bothers me when they're on my team. Like it almost makes me dislike you.
So, I mean, I feel that. I mean, you're right. You just kept your distance a little bit, and you're like, look, you're here. You can't do anything about it, but I'm not gonna go out of my way to hang out with you or something.
But I feel like now, and you said it before, like there's players on your team in college that they don't care. Or they just, I don't even know why they're there. They want to.
I don't get it.
They want to be on the team. Maybe they want free education. I don't know what it is. But now I finally feel like I have a team of players. Everybody wants to work hard. Everybody does work hard. And we're all here for the same purpose. We want to get better and we want to be successful. And I feel like in college, there were just like, there was just some players who just seemed like they didn't care.
I always thought that, and I thought it was just Aiken. So I'm glad it's everywhere.
No. And I think there's different reasons why people have that mindset, you know. If they think they're never going to make the starting lineup, I kind of understand, like, oh, if I'm never going to make the starting lineup, then why am I going to try? Yeah. So, and I think that kind of comes down to the coach, like player management and stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like, is your transition, because my hypothesis was that maybe the college to pro might even be easier of a transition than your high school to college. I don't know. What's the difference? I mean, for high school, college, you said there wasn't a huge difference for you, just because you thought you were at that level.
Yeah.
By the time you got there, and you were. But
Yeah.
I don't know what that difference is from college to pro.
College to pro, you have to. It's literally like this mental switch that when you go into training every day, you have to switch it on. Like you have to. For my college, I mean, it was a little bit smaller of a Division I school, but I always worked hard, tried to switch on as much as I could, and perform in training. But there are players who just show up and they can do whatever they want, no matter what. They're gonna start on the weekend. Mm-hmm. Now, like, everyone comes switched on. You're fighting for a spot, and just overall, like, you have to be mentally there. And obviously, the pace of play, speed of play is like way faster than college. Yeah, but it's not just your feet; it's mental, like anticipation. What's next? And they always say that, but it is true. And it's not like a huge gap, but it's something you have to get used to. And if you can't adjust to that, then you're not going to be successful. So
you're going to be left behind.
Yeah, so I think now it's like trying to get into a habit of switching on. Like when I'm going through the warm-up, like I try my best to just not talk to anybody and just do the motions, not go through the motions, but like do the warm-up to a T, get my mind ready so that when it comes to practice, I'm ready to go. Mm-hmm. And that's how that correlates to the game, you know, leading up to it. Can you get your mind ready? Because we have a guy on our team. He's from Scotland, and he's played professional for like 10 years. He started like one of the biggest clubs in Scotland when he was a teenager. And you just see it before training, before games, just how switched on he is. He looks scary. Really? Like his eyes are like this. Like he does look scary. He's such a nice guy too. And he's so good. He's so good. And you can tell like every day he comes to training, he just wants to play. And he's ready to play. So
that's cool. It sounds like you've met your group of people. I mean,
cool.
Yeah,
the team. I love the team. I really do.
That's so cool.
Yeah, there's so many great guys. Chill.
And you're gonna. The coolest part for me is the Battery has played some big teams. Mm-hmm. I mean, Kaká came and played the Battery.
Yeah,
you know, that is almost weird. If I was on the Battery and I knew Kaká was coming, I'm like, yo. Did we watch that man on TV 12 years ago in the World Cup? Like, what?
We preseason we were supposed to play Inter Miami, but it got canceled due to COVID. So I would have played like Higuain. But the week before I started training, the guys went and played Atlanta United. So they played like Joseph Martinez and all these players. When I was on the team, we played Minnesota United.
Nice.
So I played like Ethan Finley.
Yeah, I remember
Will Trapp.
Oh man, that's cool.
Bro, that's super cool. Will Trapp is so good. Respect. Shout out.
Damn. Yeah, shout out Will Trapp. Shout out Ethan Finley because when I was in middle school, he was on the Columbus Crew still. He came for the tournament here. And we like took a picture and he I think my dad had like reached out to him over Twitter. Mm-hmm. And I think they had a connection somehow with like college. And he ended up like giving me like a signed like picture or something for Christmas that year or whatever it was. But Ethan Finley, that man's a workhorse, and he makes the men's national team. I remember a couple of times, and dude, that is crazy.
Isn't it cool? And you think they're like these like super heroes or like superstars that like you'll never meet them or you never like I never thought I'd be on the same field as them, and it's crazy, or like be in the same place. But it's crazy. Like seeing him, like Will Trapp smacked me on the butt. And he's like, we were down 4-0. He was just like, keep going, man, keep going.
That's hilarious.
Because they were just like pinging the ball around me. I was like, fuck. And
well, that's one thing I can relate to on seeing people that you've kind of grown up seeing. They have this aura of like big dick energy where you're like, I'll never reach that. You know. But it's interesting though because there's levels to this shit. You know, there's levels. Like there's always someone higher. And for me in high school and college, like I mean, everyone who was good in high school looked to you. I mean, you had all the videos too, which was great. Like you marketed yourself really well. But there was a level of like aura around you because you were one of those top people. So it's cool knowing that there are levels. Like there are people who looked up to you and still look up to you in college, high school, college, pro. And then there's levels where you look up to Kaká, and Kaká probably looks up to someone else. Yeah. And it's weird because you think they're gonna be something. And then you see them, they're just a human being.
Just a normal person.
Yeah, and you're probably taller than them.
Yeah. And I feel like, you know, maybe there's people that are younger than me that look up to me and they're like, wow, he played a B, now he plays the Battery. And
they do.
Yeah, they do. And they're like, oh, he's amazing. And like, I'm sitting here, I'm like, I'm literally just a normal person. I just like doing my thing and working hard and just getting better. That's it. It's just, it's nothing different from anybody else's life.
Is this what? So you had this dream in like high school. It probably became more realistic because you were like, yo, I'm better than most people here.
Like going pro.
Yeah, like just as far as this being your goal for like life. I mean, there's a difference between wanting to be like a professional coder or like a professional whatever, and then being like, I want to be an athlete for my job, my identity. I mean, if you looked at Ronaldinho, he is a soccer player. That's the only thing you can attribute to him. I don't know what else he likes. I don't know if he likes dancing. I don't know if he likes math. It's like the only thing most people know about Joel Bunting is that he's a superstar on the soccer team. He works really hard. Everything's for soccer. He works out for soccer. And like all these things are fueled with this idea of like he's going to go as far as he can in this department of soccer.
Yeah.
Like, do you have anything that you're like, man, now that I'm here, at least, I mean, I guess you got to work on it too still.
I'm definitely still adapting. Like this all just happened within the past 2 months. And another interview I did said, if you asked me a year ago if I was going to play pro, I'd think you're crazy. And I think when I was in high school, I knew I was going to play in college. I didn't know what level, what team, whatever, but I knew I was going to play. So I just worked hard and I focused on the moment and performing well. And then I remember when I got to college, I told my coach that I wanted to play professional. I told him that my freshman year. Nothing ever came of it. But I think by the time I got to a senior, like I was a little bit burnt out and I just didn't see a clear path from college to pro. I really didn't. And when I started to play UPSL, I played the fall season entirely, and then I played one game of the spring season. And I was just playing to play. Like I was still working hard a little bit, but I didn't have this like the same desire to work hard every day because I didn't think it was going to pay off. I didn't think I was going to go pro. And then all of a sudden
it's impossible to have that mindset.
Yeah. Well, some people get it. They know, like, and some things are handed to people, and I understand that. But like I kind of was just like doing my own thing, and then this happened to fall my way. So it's not like I always wanted to be pro, but I really don't know anything else.
Yeah.
And there's nothing else that I want to do. Like there's nothing else that I get up to in the morning and I want to do that like every day. Like when I wake up, like this is what I want to do every day. And it's just that passion. I mean, people have passions for everything,
Yeah, but most people aren't willing to do things to find out what that is.
Yeah.
I mean, most people just are like, well, I don't know what I want to do. And they're like, well, what if you try? And they're like, well, like nothing.
Yeah.
Like, I work and I smoke. And that's like 90% of people. And I didn't know that until I started like
the restaurant business.
Once you finish high school and college, and for 90% of people, that's the end of work of improving yourself. For a lot of people, after they graduate college, they go, all right, that's it. I mean, now I'm just in life.
Yeah, let me get a 9 to 5 for the rest of my life and work in the week and then get drunk on the weekend and repeat.
That living for the week or for the weekend, that's a life I just can't do that forever. There's no way I can do that forever. And so I'm trying to do just anything that is not in line with that.
Yeah.
But there was something I was going to ask about the when you senior year of college, when you're sort of getting burnt out, you didn't see the clear path, so you kind of lost that momentum or motivation to just keep going and keep going. I noticed that in my senior year of high school when I was... no, it wasn't senior year. No, so it must have been in college. So it was the freshman year, I realized the levels. That's where I had that perspective. You had that perspective of like long-term forever. Mm-hmm. So it was easier for you to put in that work. And then you talked about something that I noticed when I got to college, when I realized that there's another dimension and another level to people who actually want to go professional here. And I don't care as much as I thought I did.
Yeah.
Like I thought I wanted to be a pro. And when I got there and I realized the levels to this, and that if you're not on the team as a freshman and already one of the best on the college team, there almost isn't hope.
Yeah.
And when you realize you get in and you realize you're not in the top 5 or even top 10, for me, I was like, okay, so realistically, there's zero chance of going pro. Like, zero chance.
It's demoralizing, and you stop wanting to work hard, and that's how it is. And that's actually like the feeling I had, and I was like burning out as well. But I didn't think there was something after this. So it was just like, why would I go outside and dribble through a bunch of cones if I'm not going to play?
And so when you realize that maybe this isn't it. Maybe I'm not going to do this for the rest of my life. That's probably weird. There's a lot of people who go through college as an athlete, and that's what they identify as, and that's what they do And then they're like, all right, so I'm not going pro. Now, like, what do I do now? Like, what was that life like for you for that? That was a year almost of kind of living in a life where you're not sure your future.
And I was still playing soccer, but obviously not like where I wanted to play. It's depressing though. It's really depressing, and I didn't really like let it show that much, but I'm definitely way happier like doing what I'm doing now, and I'm way less anxious. Like I was decently happy playing at that level and working in the restaurant, but it was like, okay, like I need to do something to, what am I going to do like after this? And I was applying to nursing schools. Like I applied to MUSC, and I took a class online, microbiology. So like as a prereq for nursing schools. So I was like looking at schools online. It was like really stressful, and I wasn't sleeping well at all. Like I was thinking a lot. And then finally, like when I signed here, like I sleep like a baby now. You know, like I just was an overthinker, and that's how it is. And you get anxious sometimes, but yeah, it's depressing when you're doing something that you don't want to be doing. That's how it is. But
yeah, and I was at that point. Yeah, I mean, I was at that point with just life in general, but I didn't have that thing that I was like, I'm not super really good at anything yet. And I think a lot of people hit that point where they're like, all right, there's not much I can offer here to be next level at anything. And that's demoralizing in a sense, but for me, it was more demoralizing to be like, okay, so I'm at this stage now where I'm just working at a restaurant. I'm making good money, I guess, but like I'm not doing this forever in my head.
Were you living at home?
I was living at home. Yeah, I was living at home for like the last year because I was just wanting to build up my net worth. Just because I was like, okay, if I can, at least I can retire early. Like that's what I can make that happen. Like I'm good with money. I understand money, so I just got more literate with finances and kind of investing in crypto and trying to like get innovative with it and just take advantage of all this money I'm making right now. But I was always like, man, okay, so in high school middle school you're working hard to get to high school, and you're working hard at high school to get to college, your college to pro. But then if you get to college and you realize, okay, so now I don't know what to do next, and you get into just the game of life where you're like, there's no levels after this. I'm just here on this hamster wheel that just doesn't end, I guess, and there's no way to propel myself up. I'm just kind of here flatlined. And so for a lot of people to hit that stage, and I don't think they're desperate enough to do anything about it most of the time because you're comfortable. Like it's chill. Like it's not good. Yeah, but it's fine. You know, it's good enough.
That's how it was when I was living here and working in a restaurant and saving up. You know, it's very comfortable, and you have all this money that's to yourself. You can do whatever you want with it. But there is like that thing in the back of your mind. It's like, what's next? Like, shouldn't you be doing something right now? It's gonna help you in the future. And it was also something that like I wanted to tell people. Like I wanted to have a plan to tell people. Yeah. And they would ask about soccer. I'd be like, oh, I'm just playing like semi-pro right now. Like, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, like I'm applying to nursing schools and stuff like that.
There's always an answer you need.
Yeah, you always have to have an answer, especially when you're out of college. When you're in college, it's like, oh, I'm in college. Yeah. And they're like, okay, cool. What's your major? It's like, but once you get out, it's like you got to answer all these questions, which I don't know why you have to answer them. But
as an overthinker myself, just towards everything though, I didn't know that other people overthought things, because I would think of like people would ask me a question and probably didn't mean anything of it. Didn't need, like when someone asks you a question like, what are you doing like with your life? Most people aren't like looking for an answer. Like, it doesn't matter like what your answer is. But for some reason I felt pressure to answer it the right way. Like what answer are they looking for so I can give it to them? Yeah. And I never liked that. And so I never had the answer, and I always overthought it, thinking I needed to answer that question. And when I realized that everyone has their own storyline that everyone's trying to perpetuate, and they're the own main character of their own story. And once I remember when I was getting to like self-development and like self-help and all that stuff, and I was starting to realize and become more aware of the fact that everyone's doing their own shit, and some people are way deeper in their head than other people, then I would start to like take a little bit of the pressure off me and be okay, so it's not a big deal. Like when grandma asks me like, yo, what are you doing next week? And I don't have like a set answer on like my entire line of my future. Yeah. I don't beat myself up about it. Yeah. But
which is something you have to learn.
Yeah, and it's just life, I think, that teaches you that. Yeah. But I struggled with that for a long time, just like having an answer and needing that answer. It was always soccer. And when soccer fell through the thing for me, I was like, I guess I'll be really fit or something. I'm a fitness person. I did the fitness thing for a while, and I was like, this sucks. So I stopped doing that, and then I was just doing things out of I don't know, to just like impress people or something. I don't know what it was.
Yeah.
But until I found something I liked, like I like creating a storyline just in general, and I was like, okay, that's all I know, so I'm just gonna go with that and just kind of take off with that and do whatever, because I still don't have an answer. Like, so what's after this road trip? How long is this road trip gonna last? And I'm like,
I don't know.
A week or a month. Like, I have no idea. Like, it depends how much money I have, I guess. Like, it depends if the crypto market recovers. I have all this money. Like, a lot of things, and I don't know. And they're like, so what is this thing, this voyage you're talking about? I'm like, well, for me, it's just not doing this 9 to 5 and just doing something else. So for me, like right now, it's just doing this trip and then finding a new place I want to live, in a place where I feel more at home. Yeah. Because right now I'm in Charleston. For me, I'm not in a headspace where I could stay in Charleston much longer. You're in a different headspace. Like you're. I mean, I assume you're chilling because you signed the battery. Like, you like Charleston.
I do like it
down here. For me, I'm not into the beach as much. For me, the people I've met through my circumstances just aren't the same vibe that I'm looking for, and I just think I'll find that somewhere else. I don't know if I will or not, but just having like an answer in my head that isn't fully scripted helped me, because I always thought I needed that entire thing. Yeah. Like already known, and that's just not how anything works. Yeah. I mean, you found out you're going to the battery a week ago or 2 weeks ago, and before that, like 2 months ago, you were like, all right.
That was like, so I didn't get accepted to MUSC when I applied, and they had told me to retake a class and apply again for the next semester. And I don't know, like I wasn't upset that I didn't get accepted. I just felt like I was like, oh shit, now I have to like think of another plan or like continue to do what I was doing. Thankfully that only lasted for like 3 weeks until I started practicing with the battery. So that was really nice. But yeah, it's nice to finally have an answer, I guess. Yeah, true. So,
well, you get rewarded for that, working with the like faith it'll work out in the end. And just staying true to yourself and doing your own shit. Sounds like you did that forever. Like, it sounds like you had a good head mentality toward that.
I make it look that way. Well, it's hard. It's hard. It is really hard, because I mean I've had a lot of self doubt. Like, you would think like after college, professional teams would come for me or whatever, and that's not reality, and it just didn't happen. So
did you think it would?
Yes. Well, I really didn't know how it worked, actually, but I think it does happen, but only for like the players who play on like the top teams, like Division 1. Like, those are the players that professional teams are looking for. And like they go into the draft, and the draft really isn't anything. Like, you can get drafted by a team, but you don't even get signed. You basically, if you get drafted, you like just go do like an extended trial there, and then if they don't sign you, you'll probably like go USL, because if you do get drafted, like that's a big statement, and like USL teams will probably want you. So
true. It's cool though. I mean, when we were talking a few minutes about how you would have been on the same field as Gonzalo. Yeah. That's nutty, because that's a big dude.
He was next to Ronaldo like a few years ago.
Oh my god, that is weird. I don't even know what I would do if I was in the same field. Like, I always envision that. Like, I daydream a lot in my life, and I've daydreamed a moment where I'm like on the field, but as an equal. But it's never been like a real thing. I've never been on a field and shared a field with anyone really. Like, for me, that the equal to that was playing Wando and playing against the people that were gonna play at that level one day. And I was like, I would just relish those moments. Okay, so right now this is a baby version of what that could be. Like, I'm playing on the same field as some of these guys who are gonna play Division 1 because they're really good. Like, they're just really, really good at what they do, and that was cool for me. But I always had that growing up. Just, I mean, we'll go a little bit away from soccer here and just go more toward, like, I was at private school. You were at private school. Yeah. I grew up in private school. I think we both grew up in private school. But I left after freshman year. I couldn't fit in with at least Portugal. At least I don't know the difference between Bishop England and Portugal.
Did you go to Porter before high school?
I went to Porter from 1st through 9th.
So a lot of the people in high school though were the same from grade school.
Everyone was the same except for like a handful of kids. Yeah. So I should have been great friends. I should still be friends with them. I'm just not. And, I just didn't relate in enough ways, and soccer was it for me. And everyone on the team who was playing soccer, they liked soccer, but soccer wasn't like it for them. And so they would be doing other things, like going to parties, and I just wasn't invited to those parties. I wasn't like popular like that. And I like did everything I could to be cool. I just wasn't cool, and it was because I was so insecure and trying to just fit in on these like trends or whatever. But I was always like late to them, and so I just like I felt like I couldn't catch up. So when I transferred away, I went to public school, and I went from bottom of the barrel, like Porter Gaud kid. Like I wasn't rich, I wasn't particularly that good looking. I was kind of like I wasn't like in shape, or there's nothing special about me at Porter Gaud. I was just kind of there, and that's the mentality I had toward myself too. But when I transferred, I became like this shiny new toy. I got really in good shape at that time, and I got this big ego a little bit. But the difference between private school for me and public was night and day. I mean, I can't even imagine continuing private school after I had left because I just didn't fit.
You liked public school better?
I liked public school just because everyone was. I mean, I was just a normal kid. I only went to Porter because my dad worked there, so I had a free tuition.
Yeah.
So we just weren't in the same bracket and same like living situations as a lot of these kids. But like I grew up with them, so I'm very comfortable around people. Like at College Charleston, for example, like a lot of those kids are kind of like Porter Gaud people, and so I like all those people. Like I have no problem with them. I just, for me, like with my bubble, or with my friends, we're just kind of like, it's just more relatable, I guess, just world stuff. But with private school, I mean, private school is fun. Private school is cool. I mean, you know all your friends.
Yeah,
and that's the one big difference I think is. When I went to Hannah's graduation, it's like 80 kids. They're not all best friends, but like 40 of them could probably all hang out in one group and it would be totally fine. Yeah. Not the same with public. There's like 4,000 kids there. Yeah. And I mean, I'm just curious because I transferred away. Like you stayed. I don't think it was ever a thought to not stay. Like, did you enjoy that time? Do you have any regrets toward high school? How you did it?
No, I loved high school, and I think obviously the people you're with, like you make the most of it, and I love the people around me. And like I said, they're my childhood friends. Like we grew up playing the same basketball team in middle school and stuff like that, and that's how I made most of my friends was through sports. And I just like the small community. Like I feel like everybody was friends. Like I don't like if you were a geek or a dork or whatever, like I was still like cool with you. Like I'd still talk to you or whatnot. And maybe there was like a little bit of bullying here and there, but I feel like for the most part, like everybody was friends and you knew everybody. First, middle, last name, their brothers and everything. So I always liked that community, but I don't know what public school was like. Yeah. I don't know. Especially like if I were to go to public school, it would have been Wando. And I think I would have done all right, but I feel like I would have been like a different person if I would have gone there.
Well, it sounds like when you were in high school, you were able to be like, that was the one thing I never understood at that age. I couldn't grasp being myself and being okay with it because I just didn't think I was like cool enough or good enough at that time to be myself and also be cool. And so I would just be fake or just like, I don't know what it was, but there were certain people that like weren't like, remember Sean Hecker? Yeah. Like people like him, for me at least when I was growing up at that age, who were just like you and Sean and I don't know what I mean. There was something different about like you're like that type of person. You were just like so nice and down to earth, and it didn't feel like I was talking to like a private school kid per se when I was growing up at least, because I felt that like I don't know what the word is, not entitled, but it felt like I was being talked down to. And I think it was all by the others, yeah. I think it was just all in my head, but there were certain people that weren't like that. Yeah. And I remember vividly, it was like you and Sean were both just so down to earth and nice and chill, and not weird about. I don't know what it was. I don't know what it was. I mean, everyone on Diesel was cool. Yeah. I loved everyone there. I first I was like intimidated by Jake. He was so charismatic. Are you friends with those guys still?
No. Like a lot of people from high school, I'm not friends with anymore. I have like a few friends. That's about it. Then I have my college friends, but I don't know. They're just not the same lifestyle. But they like to party still and all hang out. Kind of like out of the loop. And it was kind of the same in high school. Like I didn't party much. I didn't go out with them that much. My senior year, like I would go out on holidays, like Halloween, and just like the occasional party. But they were going out like every weekend. And then they come to school and they talk about like, oh, like the weekend was so sick. I'm sitting there like I laid in my bed for 7 hours watching soccer, and then I went and played. Yeah. Thankfully, I had my brother living here, so he would always, go out with me.
And he filmed with you too. Like you guys were pretty close.
Yeah, like all the footage you see online, that was him filming.
Damn, that's nice. Yeah. That's nice to have. Yeah. That's really nice to have.
And I'm like split. So my senior year, I told them to not film me because I had already committed. But like my senior year was like my best year ever. But there's like no footage.
You don't have any footage?
No.
They didn't film your games for you, like the team?
No.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, he was good with it. Like he wasn't just like standing there like moving. Like he would zoom in on me specifically. Like if you see a lot of clips, like it zoomed in on me. So
really, really good. I thought about paying. I didn't have enough money. Like I wasn't working any jobs. I was gonna pay someone to like do that because I was like, man, you got like a real camera.
Yeah.
Like I think our high school we filmed, but we had like some piece of shit camera that just filmed like the whole half.
Yeah.
And it would just kind of move side to side. And it never
You
captured.
can't see anything.
I couldn't get it. And like also my junior or senior year, there's a couple games where I did something like crazy, and I remember I was so pumped to go watch it, and the camera's like not even on.
Yeah.
I was like, are you fucking kidding me?
That's happened to me before.
That's the worst. My senior night, I scored I scored to tie the game in the last minute of overtime, I think it was, and we were losing 2-1. Scored the goal. It was like a cross on the ground. I just like beamed it in the corner. Great goal. Took off my shirt, celebrated the whole thing. And then I scored the winning penalty kick and won the game. They got that on film, but I was so excited because that was one of my best goals of the year.
Yeah. And
I go up there, and I remember like Daniel Johnson, a couple other kids were up there, like the JV kids. They were filming it because they didn't have a choice.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, like that was crazy. Like, yo, that goal was insane. And they didn't say anything. So like, okay, we must have gotten it. Fantastic. So the next day they upload it to whatever.
Huddle.
So like edit the footage, and I'm like, yeah, did we edit in Huddle or did we post it in Huddle?
Well, I didn't have Huddle, but I knew like the football team used Huddle. So
yeah, so like that was the goal. So I was gonna post it up there.
Yeah.
And you can hear the audio too in the back. They're up in like the box, and they're talking about some stupid shit. And the camera's looking at this side. The goal's over here.
Yeah.
And I just hear them going like blah blah, and then you just hear everyone go oh, and you hear everyone go oh, and then you see the camera shoulder over, and I'm like fuck, what happened? They're like oh my god, Case scored, and you just hear Janet Johnson go oh shit. And they're like, Cole, you were supposed to be manning the camera. Like, no, you were supposed to be manning the camera. And the next day I remember because at that point I was a senior. I felt like the shit, and all these like freshman kids. I remember I saw him in the hallway, and he literally like ran away from me.
Oh my god.
That sucked.
It's a bad feeling.
It was the worst because I always have. My dad always filmed in club, I think.
Yeah.
Or I think he filmed. Yeah, he filmed a little bit in club. But man, that's like the worst feeling ever when you don't get it on film.
Yeah,
it almost feels like it shouldn't even happen.
I know.
Even the point of that.
I know.
Dude, I've been out of the loop from like soccer and stuff. Like I don't even. Do you watch soccer a lot still?
Yeah, I'll watch Premier League, but now it's over. And then like Euros are coming up, but I don't really watch like MLS or. I really need to start watching USL, like the league I play in.
Probably,
like I should watch them play.
I watched the Champions League because Chelsea is my team. And they have been forever, so I didn't even know they were. I mean, I've been watching them, and I do keep up, but I didn't know they were like in the semifinals until they were in the semifinals. So I couldn't believe they play in the Champions League. But I watch highlights. I don't watch that many unless the game's already on and I'm not doing anything.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of like doing my shit. I'm like always like behind on something, so I'm always trying to catch up. But I don't watch soccer nearly as much. I still love watching it though.
Yeah.
I don't really watch any other sports. Do you watch any sports?
No, just soccer.
Just soccer.
I despise like football, baseball, no chance.
Dude,
basketball maybe like March Madness. Yeah, I'll watch that a little bit. I used to watch it a lot, but now it's
what are you gonna do if like you want kids in the future?
Yeah.
What are you gonna do if your kid he's just into baseball? Like, that's his thing. You down with that?
Then I'm fine with that. Yeah. Because I used to play baseball, and I liked playing the sport. I just don't like watching it.
It's hard to watch.
Yeah.
Really hard to watch.
And if he plays, and maybe I'll have to drink a lot or something. I don't know how I'll get through the games, but.
Do you see yourself staying in Charleston?
I love it here. I really do. But I don't know. It's. I've never been anywhere else. Like I went to Spartanburg for 4 years, which compared to here, it's a lot nicer here.
Really?
But yeah. But I know there's a lot of beautiful places in the United States and even across the world. So I think I just need to experience some new places. But it's a good life here. I like it a lot because I'm a beach guy, and the weather, the climate, the people here. Like I really do.
Yeah,
enjoy
for you it fits your vibe.
Yeah,
I guess. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, for me it's the opposite. I like the cold. I like cold weather, and I like. I don't know what it is. I just don't fit the vibe here as much as I used to. Like in high school, I did sort of, but it was because I was never a beach guy, but I just did because everyone else was.
Yeah.
And so for like my whole life, I felt like I was living this life that wasn't me, and so for me, I knew I couldn't continue this life and get to where I want to go if I'm still here. It's like that's the only reason I left. There's a lot of people who love Charleston. I just can't relate in that sense.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. I just can't relate. Like Devin is one of my best friends. He has like no intention of leaving Charleston.
Yeah.
And it's just like what you want is different, you know. Like
I like it a lot, and it really depends. Like, I'm obviously gonna try to meet a spouse at some point, and it depends like where she wants to live and what she wants to do, and you know, if we both agree on moving somewhere new, then if I had her, you know, everything should be good. But for the most part, yeah, I love being here, but sometimes it's hard to. I think it's really hard to replicate the lives that are here. Like,
yeah,
with the job I have now and like what I see myself doing in the future, I don't see myself making like a ton of money. Yeah, it's something I love, but it's not like I'm not gonna have like mansions like everyone else here. At least that's how I live in Mount Pleasant. Like, you see, so many people have big houses, boats, cars. Like, I don't see myself living that life, so it's hard to fit that lifestyle. Like, I like the location, but sometimes like I don't feel like I fit in with the people here. So.
Damn, that's crazy. Would you move inland? Like if Minnesota hit you up and like, yo, you trying to play for us? Would you go like to Minnesota?
If it was a pro team, yeah, I'd go anywhere.
Man, anywhere?
Yeah.
Anywhere in the world?
Yeah.
Damn.
Maybe.
Wow.
It really depends. Depends on the level and the pay, obviously.
Yeah.
But
so there's like a Liga 2 team in Spain or like Germany or something. You would go?
probably Spain, yeah. That'd be sick.
That's crazy.
Because I do want to learn another language.
Yeah, I would love to learn Spanish. Dude, Spanish is a very easy, or not easy, but I've heard it's easier to learn, and it's just so good to know Spanish.
Yeah,
you know?
especially here in the United States. And I think, like, I personally think if you drop me off in Spain today, like, I think I'd be okay.
Can you speak a little bit?
A little bit, yeah.
Really?
Because, like, this whole past year when I was in the restaurant, the whole kitchen speaks Spanish.
Oh, okay.
And it's like you can talk to them in English, but I think it's fun to talk to them in Spanish.
Are you just fast? Do you speak fast?
I try to. I always try to do an accent. And then, like, my teammates from college, my teammates now, my other team, you know, there's always somebody on the team that speaks Spanish, and I always try.
It's a good camaraderie to have.
Yeah.
If you can speak Spanish a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, that's good to do. That's good to do.
And as long, like, when I was doing it every day, like working like 5-6 days a week, I'd just always talk to the kitchen in Spanish. Like, I got pretty good.
Dude, honestly, we need to talk about tips for the restaurant business because there's some things that you don't know until you've been in there.
Yeah.
Talking to the kitchen, you don't have another option. Like you have to talk to the kitchen.
Yeah.
And
you want to be friends with them.
yeah, but then not just like, yo, nice hamburger. Like,
Yeah.
don't want to talk about kitchen stuff with them, but you want to get some type of camaraderie there.
Yeah.
You know,
a good relationship, because, you know, if you do mess up something, you need someone to have your back, and they're the ones making the food. So.
And you're gonna mess up. Like I remember there's a period where I was really comfortable. I was good. I was one of the better servers there, and I was like, I'm good. And I didn't mess up for like, I shit you not, I didn't mess up for like 2 months straight. Like I had 0 mistakes, and I was like, oh, I'm good. And then I remember I had like 1 week straight of just mistake after mistake after mistake. And that relationship I built with some of the kitchen people made it so it was fine. Like they gave me shit for it, but they weren't like screaming at me. You know, because if you're not friends with them, like if they're gonna stay for a drink maybe, and maybe you don't even drink, and like I never really drank, but there is like an advantage to staying an extra hour, talking to your coworkers outside of like the realm of work during work. It's good to do.
That's the best part. After a crazy night, like once everything calms down, like everyone just hangs out and talks.
It's great.
It's a good feeling.
It's a good feeling. It's really fun. It took me probably 5 months to where I got to a point where I was like, I didn't see a reason. I was like, no, I just want to go home so I can do whatever. But once I started getting more comfortable, I think I was just anxious before. Once I got comfortable, I was like, this is great. These are really nice people.
Yeah.
They all got stories. It's cool.
Yeah.
And you can meet some of your closest friends in this industry.
And I think you can also be yourself. Like, I feel like you can be whoever you want, and you can just be yourself, because everybody in the restaurant business, they're just themselves, like, and it just works together. It really does.
It's cool because everyone is there at that moment when you're there in the restaurant to get the same job done.
Yeah.
But everyone is on a completely different path. Like some people are like 40. You know, some people are 40. They've been doing it for 20 years. Some people are here from overseas for a summer. Like everyone's coming from different backgrounds. So it's cool because anytime anyone wins in any capacity, in any part of their life, everyone's pumped for them.
Yeah.
Because we're all at the restaurant to just get our money for the shift, but everyone's like happy for each other.
Yeah.
And pushing each other on, and like it's cool.
It's a good place to be.
It's really
and I think
cool.
people should definitely try it, like at least for a little bit. And I feel like a lot of people do, like they go through the food and bev phase.
They do.
I don't think I want to do it for the rest of my life.
Absolutely fucking not.
Yeah.
I would die.
My dad's been it since probably like 20. He's 65 now.
He's still doing it?
Yeah.
What does he do?
He's a manager.
Whew.
Which is, he likes just to talk to people. But so it's not like you have to deal with people or make food or anything. So it's probably the easiest job.
The managing?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is he front of house manager?
Yeah.
That's nice. At our restaurant, I would never front of house manage, but that's because they pretty much are a server assistant. Like they pretty much are running all the food.
Yeah.
They're doing all the crap part for our restaurant specifically. Yeah, I don't know if I think bartending is the only job I could stick with full time, and I don't even know if I'll do it at a restaurant. Like I was thinking,
at a bar would be.
A bar or a brewery. I've heard breweries are cool.
Yeah.
The thing is, I don't know jack shit about beer. Like I don't know anything.
Yeah.
I just know that
I just have to start trying them.
I think I need to start trying, and I have. Like whenever I go to a restaurant, I'll try a cocktail.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to get my taste buds accustomed because I'm starting to become more adult-like in that sense. Like I like coffee more. It doesn't even have to be sweet anymore. Like I used to just like dump Splenda or whatever it was in there. Like I don't need any of that stuff. It's weird.
It's an acquired taste for sure. But I really do think like a brewery would be perfect. Like when I went to Sierra Nevada, I don't know if you've ever been there. It's super cool. But every time like you pay, you don't like leave a tab. Like every time you buy a beer, you swipe your card. And every time it asks, hey, do you want a tip? Yeah. And like all the guy does is pour your beer and give it to you.
I heard they make bank.
You tip them.
Yeah. Because this is like, especially working in the restaurant business, it's almost impossible not to click yes.
Yeah.
Even if you're in a job where you're like, what?
Yeah.
Tipping? Like what?
Yeah.
I can't stop. I'm like,
yeah. It's like rude not to.
Yeah, it hurts because you know what it feels like when you're on the receiving end. Especially if you get a table that's like $10. Like their whole tab is $10, and you get like $1.99 as your tip. Yeah. You're like, man, what the fuck is the point of that?
I tip so well.
Yeah, I try to.
Because I know what it's like.
So I don't know how much you were making at your restaurant, but at Loggerheads we would do like a good day was like for a double at least. What were your hours for doubles?
11 to 9 ish, 8 or 9. 8 or 9.
Okay, so that's a pretty decent shift right there. So that's probably about the same. So if we were making a double, I expected to walk out with 400, and that was just normal. So like 500 was like a big like milestone for me. So I told myself if I ever did that, I would leave someone $100 tip because I had someone do that my very first night. They left $100 tip. It was the most hectic night of my life. It was Memorial Day. Yeah, horrible, just completely terrible. But I got that, and I remember I told myself if I ever made 500. I would do that for someone, and we were in some random place in Charlotte, like some ramen store, where like I don't think people tip, and we left like $100 in the thing, and I felt so good.
That's
like,
awesome.
It was the coolest thing ever. But I want to do that. Like I want to be older, and those people who come into the restaurant and they're like 50s, 60s, and they're just so cool. To you, and that's just so.
And
nice.
They tip well. Like I want to be that person. Obviously, you have to have a lot of money. Not a lot, but use your money wisely. But yeah, I definitely like tipping people well. It makes me feel good.
It feels good, and I don't go out that often. Like I don't like going to restaurants really. I think it's because I've worked in one. It's hard for me to enjoy it. Yeah. Knowing like all the behind the scenes chaos that's probably happening. So I try to avoid it, but when I do, it's like once a month maybe, then I usually tip well. It feels good. It feels really good. And there's like a little respect factor you get out of that when you walk up and you leave. Like I don't know, it's cool.
Yeah, because the people that tip me well, I always think highly of them.
It is weird because before I started serving, I never thought people would be able to remember orders and stuff. But then when I started working, I can remember like if I had a person and we had some kind of like a story maybe, or they like tipped me really well or something happened, like I would probably remember them. Yeah. Even maybe remember what they got. Yeah. Or something. I never thought that would happen until I started working in the industry. Yeah. And it's cool you get to really just talk to people, and sometimes they'll fucking open up to you. Like, I've never thought to do that to a restaurant server ever. I still don't. But I've had some people open up about some random shit within 5 minutes of me talking to them, and it's kind of cool. Yeah, it's kind of cool.
Everyone's different. They have their own story, so it's really cool to hear.
It's interesting. That's why I liked. I mean, when I first started this podcast, I thought it was just gonna be me getting my chaotic brain out onto just some form of anything, and I never thought I wanted to do any kind of back and forth until I did one, and I was like, this is interesting, and I could still do my pit, like I could still talk about the stuff I want to talk about because chances are there's something relatable there, and when I started doing it, I realized that everyone has their own story that they're going on in life, and it's weird, because you kind of forget that other people are doing their shit. You're just like, oh, it's the masses, or like you see traffic, there's like 500 cars going back and forth, but every single car
They have a story.
They're going home or they're like going to work or like whatever it is. And some of those people are like you and me, where there's like, we want to do something with their life.
Yeah.
That's cool to me.
I know.
I'm trying to find that person. I'm trying to find that group of people for me by traveling the world, I think.
Yeah.
I think that's what I'm doing.
I think you'll meet a lot of people like that. Definitely.
I hope so. Yeah, that was one thing I also noticed when I was traveling. Instagram specifically, there's like a stature about it. Like you don't want to follow someone that you maybe wouldn't care to keep up with in real life. So you wouldn't follow them back.
Yeah.
Or something. But now that I'm traveling, I'm like, so this is how you build relationships with people, and like this is how you connect and network. I was like, Instagram's like an easy way to do it, especially now. And it's like now you can just mute. You know, like I've muted 99% of the people I follow are muted. Like I don't just go on Instagram.
Like unfollow and
no, like I follow them, but they're muted, so I don't see like none of their new posts pop up. So I don't because I don't want to stay on the app. I hate like being on Instagram for hours.
I
and hours.
don't have it on my phone. I just have it on my computer.
That's good.
So
it's a good way to drop.
Yes, because I didn't have it for a year, and I brought it back because of the battery and everything. I feel like I kind of have to like post and be active on there, like all the stuff that they post about me. Like I'll try to repost it.
It's good. I mean, people want to know your stuff. I mean, I remember. I mean, I didn't see your shit for a long time.
Yeah.
Plus, it's a good way right now. It's almost a waste not to try and market yourself on any of those platforms.
Definitely.
I mean, especially if you're a professional athlete in Charleston and there's a brewery maybe that you like they can reach out and be like, oh, that's the guy from the Battery, you know. And you don't even need thousands of followers. You have a couple hundred in Charleston. That's a pretty decent grasp right there. Yeah. So you could easily work out some. I mean, I don't know if the Battery has contractual obligations that you can't like work with any other businesses, but I assume a lot of professional athletes have side gigs.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, like little advertisements and stuff like that. I don't know how it all works. Still trying to adapt, but
yeah. Yo, how do you? So you signed 2 weeks ago. There's some of the questions I wanted to get before in case I forgot.
Yeah.
There's some questions I want, just because it's so fresh. It literally happened 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So you get the call. You got your first couple of practices in.
I trained for 2 months.
So
I was fairly comfortable by the time I signed.
Okay, so you know the guys. You're kind of in the routine a little bit.
Yeah.
What's your mentality? Because you're at the Battery. You're still trying to make it on this team specifically, but your aspirations, I assume, go further past the Battery.
Yeah.
So is your thinking right now? Are you able to even think long term, or are you literally just trying to make it to next week, to the next game?
Definitely week by week. I've never really thought about long term. Like now, I've never really thought about going pro necessarily, but yeah, I work day to day, like work hard, and then just things will happen in the future. And like I know that, and it's always been that way. But like when I first came in, hold on. So what's like the question specifically? Like,
so like are you able to think long term in a sense that are you able to pull from that motivation you had in high school to just get to college and play college ball and eventually pro? Like now you're pro. Are you able to keep that mentality of pushing? Because now the levels are different. It's not just college, now I'm pro. It's like now I'm pro, but there's levels to this pro.
Yeah.
Are you still able to draw from that same like motivational pool, I guess?
Yeah. So now I feel like it's even stronger now because I have something to work towards. But
how's that pressure now? Is it worse?
Well, now that I'm signed, it's like a relief. So before I signed, like the first 2 months or whatever, just felt like I was under a microscope. Like at practice, like every touch, I just felt like I couldn't mess up. I couldn't make a mistake because they weren't really giving me much. Like after practice, like, oh, we're going to sign you. Like they weren't telling me that. So I didn't know if I was going to get signed or not. So I felt a lot of pressure. But once I finally like signed, I just like a weight off my shoulders. And I felt like now I can just like show up to practice and I don't have to worry about making like little mistakes. Like it's not a big deal. I signed a contract for a year. If I make a mistake today, like they're not going to kick me off the team. I'm still on the team. I'm going to be here for at least a year. So it's just nice not having that pressure on my shoulders anymore.
That's pretty much what I expected, actually.
Yeah.
I would say. What did you have? So if you ever watched like America's Got Talent or Britain's Got Talent, where they have the golden buzzer and they had that moment where everything rains on them.
Yeah.
They have that moment where it's just a heightened sense of everything.
Yeah.
Did you have that, or was it? Like, what was that like?
It was gradual.
Was it gradual?
Like, it wasn't just like spontaneous. And like when I signed, it was on my phone, and I was here like doing a workout downstairs, And I was just like, yeah, I signed.
Like an e-sign, one of those things?
Yeah, okay. E-sign. So it wasn't just like, the ball dropped and everything. It was just like a gradual feeling.
Are they going to do like a signing day? Is that a thing with professional? Like, there's like a reporters and stuff. And
yeah, so I thought I would be like sitting at a desk with one coach here, the other coach there, and like signing a piece of paper. No, it was like an e-sign. I mean, they posted on it, like the Charleston Battery posted like a picture and everything. But yeah, that's
COVID related, you think?
I don't think so. I think that it might be how they always do it.
That's how they do it?
I'm not sure. Because I don't know how it was in the past. But
Right.
Like, I thought I would be physically signing something.
Yeah, I would have thought so. I feel like that's...
It might be COVID related.
Probably a little bit. I mean, regardless, that's cool as shit. I mean, I wouldn't know what to expect either, I guess, signing professionally. Because that's been the goal forever. It's like, now that you're here, but your reality is different now. You're like, okay, so... this is my life. Like, I achieved it, but there's still levels to this. I can keep going.
Yeah.
Just keep going. And like, every time you sign with a new team or a new season even, it's like an entirely new story. So with professional athletes, at least for me, in my perspective as not a professional athlete, it's like probably one of the best categories of jobs you could get ever.
It really is.
I mean, that's dope.
Where I'm at right now, like, it's not paying crazy amounts, but it's the life that as an athlete, you want to live. And this is what we've worked towards our entire lives, is to get to this point. So obviously we're going to keep working and see, how far we can go as far as we can go. But
have you gotten any game time?
I was available for one game. So the first 2 games I hadn't signed yet.
Okay.
And then this past game I was available, but I did not get subbed in. So we have the game tomorrow, and I have a feeling I'll play.
Wow.
I had a feeling I'll play the last game, but we were up 2-0. And then we kind of just like threw the lead, ended up tying 2-2. So I don't think it was like my game to go in. I wasn't too disappointed that I didn't play, because there's a lot of games this season, and I have a feeling that I'm gonna get game time. So
I mean, yeah, you definitely will. Have they told you you're going, like, this is your position, or is it kind of just up in the air?
It's up in the air. Yeah. So I went in as obviously as a forward, a 9, but I've been playing like winger, like left and right, and then number 10 too. I played number 10 in the last scrimmage and did pretty well. So
holy shit,
I like 10 a lot.
What number are you?
22.
22. That's a good number.
Yeah,
actually, that's a really good number. Pulisic was 22 for a long time.
Yeah.
Damn.
I know.
Fuck, that is crazy. That is crazy. Did you before you signed, did you ever daydream about playing pro? Does it feel like anything like that now, or does it feel like how I was saying behind the scenes, where you're just kind of like
behind the scenes for sure? Because like when you're in the life, like I said, I feel like a normal person, and then there's also the other half where it's like, God, this sucks. Like I'm doing the same thing every day. Like I'm doing I got to stretch again. Like all these all these little things you have to keep up with. Like I eat the same breakfast every morning. It's like, it's not all like what the picture shows. It's not like.
Well, you're hearing it here first, because this is my childhood dream. He's living it, and he's saying, "Yo, that's still me." Like nothing changes really. It's just your life situation is different, and that's something that's really important. And I'm hoping, if you were listening, that was a really, really important just bit to hear. I mean, this is his dream, and he achieved it. For me, my goal was to travel, and when I traveled, I realized it just isn't that. It's not what you think. It's not this aura, crazy fantasy life.
Amazing all the time. No.
Yeah, Disney's what we grew up on, and that's what we thought dreams would be, and it's just not. That's not the facts.
Yeah, just like nitty gritty, like all the time. Just little. You just have to do all these little things and hope that it pays off.
Yeah, I mean, you forget that, like, regardless of what happens or what situation you're in, what job you're in, where you're at in life, the only constant is you. Like your brain, your soul, your personality, whatever that is. That's the only thing that stays constant, and that's not gonna like flip flop when you get this job. You might for like a week or two, you might be glowing, but eventually you're gonna come right back to your equilibrium, just of you, and you still have to go to bed every night and sit with your thoughts. You still have to sit there in the gym mid set. You're just sitting there like breathing hard, going like, it's still me. Joe Bunting is still here doing his normal shit that he's always been. He just happens to be a professional soccer player now. And that's cool as shit. And it's definitely true though. Like if you're in that situation, you recognize, you're like, look, even if I'm in a crappy state of mind, at least I'm a professional soccer player. At least I'm living this life that I want and not working in the restaurant.
Yeah.
And that's a good place.
Which is, it helps me sleep at night. Let's say.
Definitely.
Yeah. So it's good. It's a good life.
That's so fucking crazy.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe that shit. I mean, I could. We knew it was gonna happen. It's like, if you wanted it to happen.
Yeah.
The only thing I was worried about when you posted that, I was like, I hope that's what he wants, because I knew that's what you put out.
Yeah.
You know, as you were Joel Bunting, the soccer player. But I was like, after this couple years of like soul searching, I was like, I hope that's actually him. He's not just doing this because he's like he should, or he's good enough to. Because there's a lot of people who were good enough to, who didn't end up pursuing it. You know, so many kids who are good enough to play. Yeah. And we're just like, eh. You know, so many kids in Mount Pleasant who probably could have gone college or pro. Who just didn't want to.
I think they just fall out of love of the game, and I don't think I've fallen out of love yet. So.
That's epic, dude. I mean, Conley. Do you remember Conley from? I don't know if you knew him or not. He was on Aiken's team.
I was with Conley last weekend.
Were you what?
I was with him last weekend.
Oh, really?
At a beach house, yeah.
That's crazy. Well, so Conley, I was gonna say he's one of those kids that he just loves soccer.
Yeah.
Like he just loves soccer. There's no other way around.
Yeah.
It. And I could not relate, because I got to a point where I was like, it was too much bullshit for me, and I was like, I'd rather do this. And for him, like, he was just playing soccer. Yeah. Every day.
The past year and a half, he's lived in Greenville and he's played in Columbia. So every like 3 times a week, he's like driving to Columbia, like practice games. Yeah.
What team is he? Trust United?
It was
or not Trust United.
It was Soda City.
Okay.
And then South Carolina Heat this year.
Wow. Is he trying to play? Like
that? I mean, this is all like UPSL, like where Charleston United is.
Is he trying to be a pro, or is it just for fun?
I think it was just for fun. I think he's always liked being on a team, and then he's always liked playing soccer.
Yeah, definitely.
But he told me this past week, and he's like, yeah, I just think I'm done doing it, because he works a 9 to 5 now, so I just think like all of it's kind of too much. But I think like if he had the opportunity to go pro, he'd definitely do it.
Is it weird now that, I mean, we're at the age where half of our friends are pregnant with a husband or wife, and we have some kids who are 15 or act like they're 15, and we have people who are like living 9 to 5, some people who are living the dream. It's strange to me, I think, seeing all these different paths, and so, especially some people who you can still see they haven't graduated that like the high school mentality of trying to put out this persona. You can tell with certain people that they're trying to put out this persona of them that probably isn't like who they are. Yeah. And I don't know. To me, it's really strange seeing all these different just lifestyles and life choices and stuff. What do you think? Yeah,
I mean, like one of my really good friends, he's really good friends with like Jake Michelle. He just had a kid the other day, and he's our age, you know. Oh my god. And I don't think they're married. I think it was just happened to happen that way. Yeah. But it's just crazy to think that guy like has a kid already, and it's a completely different state of life. Like, like if I had a kid right now, like I wouldn't be doing this. I don't even know what I'd be doing if I had a kid. I mean, I want to be a good father, so like everything I would be doing would be for that kid, and most likely the woman who I would have it with. But
I don't even have a girlfriend. I haven't had a girlfriend in 2 years. Like I can't even put myself in those shoes.
I haven't had a girlfriend in 2 years.
It's been 2 years?
Yeah, but what I like most about being single is I put like all my time is into myself.
It's hard to forget that when you meet that person, it becomes okay in your head. But like when I think about getting in a relationship, it makes me want to like gag. I'm like, no, I cannot give even 1 hour of my time to somebody else.
I know. But I want it to work like perfectly for my schedule. Like, I have an hour in the middle of the day. Like,
hopefully they're free.
Hopefully they're free. No, but most people they work like 9 to 5, so they're like the schedules just don't line up. Yeah. So.
Yeah, no, I hope I find someone who's like on the same path as me. I remember when I was in high school, it's crazy how your view on a relationship changes as you get older. Yeah. You know, it's just, you just want different shit. I used to like having a little bit of them like being attached to me or whatever, but now I'm like, man, I just wish they would have their own shit that they're doing, and then it just happens to line up where we still like each other and like have time for each other and stuff.
I've realized how much chemistry matters in a relationship.
Yeah. A lot of stuff matters that doesn't matter as much as it did.
Yeah, like or you don't even think it matters. Like, I remember having a girlfriend in high school, and we just didn't get along at all. Like, I dated her because she was hot. I think you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, it's like we couldn't even have a conversation, but yeah, we could take a picture together.
Yeah, I dated someone like that in college. She was great. Not like that. It was good. We did like each other a lot. We just realistically, like, it just was not it's not it. Like it probably shouldn't have happened. It was a bad time. Everything was like pointing to like, do not date. This is not the best thing for either of you right now. And we did anyway, and I learned a lot. But long-term relationships, you want something to work out in a monogamous relationship that you want to last for 70 years. That's different. Like there's certain things you just can't focus on.
Especially in college. College is difficult to have a relationship like that. I
feel like you got like an old soul perspective towards stuff. I mean, I have the same way. Like I just think of things in a different light than a lot of other people. And for me, that's why it's been hard to like create connections with a lot of people, because a lot of them just don't think in the same style I do, I guess. That's hard.
It's not the first time I've heard that, actually.
Really?
The old soul, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I used to think it was weird. I had people tell me that, but it's true. I mean, it's not like bad. It's not good or bad.
No.
It's just like, I don't know, just have like a different perspective.
Yeah.
I don't even know if it's old soul. It's just different soul. It's just like, this is different. I don't know what it is. Just not this. Like I just didn't find enjoyment in the same stuff other kids did.
Yeah.
But
I was kind of the same way.
Yeah. That's cool. I mean, that's probably why I felt so comfortable with you and like people like Sean. And there's a lot of people that I felt it with in phases or like in little moments where I'd be like, yo, that seems more authentic, but maybe it's just because I like relate to that side.
Maybe in like a group setting, it's different.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know.
Some people are like that.
But, yeah, I mean, I think I think there's any more questions I had for like specifically professional soccer, just because this is such a crazy once in a lifetime chance where you're like, you just transferred from just working a job to like professional soccer. Yeah. But I mean, I think we pretty much nailed everything. I mean, do you remember the first point in the very beginning of the podcast I was going to mention when we were at DISA in the state, I think it was State Cup or something, and we were playing Mount Pleasant.
Yeah.
And we snuck out.
When we were in Bradley's car. I remember. I
don't remember all the details. I just know we were in a gas station trying alcohol. I think we were there though.
Yeah, and now I was 17, and we were all sitting in the car, and we're like, okay, who looks the oldest here? Apparently, I look the oldest. I was like, okay, I literally look like I'm 17.
Yeah.
And
but you were tall.
I guess so. But my face was like, I had such a baby face. I mean, I still do, but it was like, just go in there and put the beer on the counter.
Did it work? Wait, is that what happened?
We didn't get to that. That was the plan though. And
I know, didn't someone buy it for us? Because I know we had a case at one point because we drank after.
Yeah. I think we
maybe it happened more than once.
I remember. I think we did ask somebody, and I think they ended up doing it. But then I think the cops came later.
Yeah, the cops came. I think we had 2 cases. I think one of them they found and he took.
Oh,
and then
yeah.
one, I know Jake had hidden one, and we got away with it because we brought it back, and that was the first time I ever shotgunned. Was there, and like Jake was like, "Here's how you do it." He's like, "You're gonna do this right." He's like, "Let's do it like this." He's like, "Now just do it like this." And I remember that was like the first time where I was like, we were all on the same level. It felt like in my head, because in my head I was still like, Jake's up here, as far, like he's so confident, he's got all these like friends or whatever, and you guys were all in that same category, but we were all there. All couldn't get the same thing, and for me that was like a cool moment. And then we all like celebrated in the parking lot, and then we lost. We lost the next day. Probably a little bit to do with that.
Did we drink the night before?
Yeah, no, that was the night before, and that was the semifinal. Or no, it was some game that for some reason it didn't matter. I think it was either we weren't gonna win, or there was something where it just didn't matter. Yeah. Because I remember all of us, we were just.
I think it was the 3rd place game.
It might have been. Okay, it might have been that because
we lost the first game.
Yeah. There's a bunch of shit that I remember that night that I normally would not have done and you wouldn't have done. Yeah. Like, there's no chance you would have done that if it was a big game.
Yeah, no chance.
So I think it was just funny. I remember because Brian was down there, they're all drinking, all the parents. I think we were all like, fuck it, dude. We're out here. We got a 3rd place game tomorrow, whatever.
They didn't care.
It was fun. That was a cool
Yeah. Cool time. I remember them telling me to go in and put the alcohol on the counter. And then the guy, if he was going to ask for my ID, all I had to say is, "Oh, I don't have it." It's like, what type of game plan is that?
It doesn't work.
I'm definitely going to get denied.
It's the same way when people try and get into the bars, like just going with him.
Yeah.
Like, they're going to stop you. Yeah, probably, but I mean, it's not going to work. It never works. I'm glad. I mean, the whole under 21 thing, I'm glad that's over. Like, I'm just kind of done with it. That mentality, it was cool because it was like,
it was exciting. Yeah.
It was a little exciting, and I do sort of miss that. But I just overthought so much shit in high school. Like that was just mentally for me. That was an exhaustive time to be alive. Yeah. So I'm kind of glad I'm past that, or sort of matured past that.
Did you have a fake?
Oh yeah, I had a fake. I had to. I mean, everyone else had a fake. Yeah. So I used it like once.
I had mine my senior year of high school. Yeah, I didn't use it in high school, but once I got to college, I definitely used it.
I used it twice in college to get into bars. I used it once in high school to buy drinks, but then I didn't even use it, I don't think. Mm-hmm. So when I got it taken away when I was 20, I went to Uptown. Yeah. Uptown's like known for just finding people's fakes. So if you're in college and you're trying to get into Uptown, just don't even try. It won't work. I got mine taken there, and the bouncer's this big, tall guy. He looks at it, takes one look at it, looks back at me, and he goes, funny. Puts it in his pocket, and I looked at him, and he looked right at me for like 3 seconds, and I was like, thank you. And he just walked away. I was literally so happy.
Thank you.
I was like, I don't have this pressure now. I don't need to worry about it.
Yeah.
Done. Yeah.
It's so funny.
Man, I have a lot of memories of Charleston, so I'll miss it. Because this is my last week here. I leave Monday or Tuesday, and I'm coming back for my friend's wedding for like 2 days. But then I'm pretty much gone. I think I'm gonna find a place out in like Montana, Utah, Colorado, somewhere in that region.
When's your friend's wedding?
It's in November, or something like that. I think.
So you'll be gone for a few months.
I'll be gone for a good bit. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm excited. I mean, there's a lot of memories. There's a lot of things I didn't think I would miss that I will. But yeah, I mean, this is cool. I definitely want to just come on. I hadn't seen you in so long.
Yeah, man.
And it was good to see you. I mean,
you're
such a good dude. We were talking with Dalton. Like, we were like, he's just such a rare breed to find in Charleston.
I appreciate it.
For me.
Thank you, man.
You're a cool guy. So we're proud of you for making pro. We expected it, honestly. We were just waiting for something, and I'm just happy it happened like the right way. And like you got that like sort of treasure in a way, like at the end of the rainbow, like all that work was worth it.
Yeah.
And for all those kids who are in high school who like want this thing and you're doing all this stuff that's different, like it does work out if you're good enough. You know, if you're good enough, you actually have the skill and the work ethic.
Work very hard. You have to work hard.
Pretty much.
I'll always stay humble.
Humble's big. Oh, that was the last thing. This is like there's like a minute before that camera turns on, so I want to get it all in. All right, so here's the question I asked Dalton.
Okay.
So a couple different scenarios here. So if you come back on the podcast in X amount of years, so say you're 30.
Okay.
And you come back on this podcast, where do you think you're going to be at? Why would we be on this redo of a podcast when you're 30?
I just think like as you grow up, you learn so much, and like comparing myself to when I was in high school when I knew you, like I know so much more now, and I think it's always cool. It's cool that we're recording this because I can look back and see like how I thought, how I acted, what I thought I was going to be doing. Because usually what you think you're going to be doing, you're not doing that.
Yeah.
I mean, kind of. I'm doing what I want to be doing, but the path that you take, you never know how it's going to go. So,
pretty much.
I think when I look back when I'm 30, I'm going to be proud of where I'm at. So.
You think it'll be in Charleston?
I don't know.
Damn, that'd be crazy.
It really depends. It really depends on the path I go. So.
Shit. All right. Well, sweet. I mean, we pretty much I skipped the intro to this because we got into it and it just kind of took off and I just forgot about it honestly. But thanks for listening. Yeah. Peace. Bye.
Thank you guys.